Hey everyone, I'm here today to do a video, of course. So I've been asking during our virtual bookshop call and our indie press tour we've been running, bookshops and publishers to recommend uplifting, inspiring and distracting books. And I thought it might be cool if I did the same. Of course, me being me, I've been asking them to recommend like 2. I've got like 10, but I'm gonna try to be quick. So I've got like a mixture. Sorry, I keep saying like. This is a very big mixture. There's a few indie books. There's quite a few non-indie books, just because they're what fits the theme. So I've got also a mixture of fiction, non-fiction, kids books and adult books and all sorts. So I'm going to start with one of my favourite books of all time. This is a book that I go back to time and time again whenever I want to be distracted from the world, and it is The Painted Garden by Nell Streatfeild. You will probably know as the author of Ballet Shoes. This is a sort of sequel to Ballet Shoes. It's not really, but it's about a family, the Winter family, who have to go to California after their father is diagnosed with, I think, depression, although it's not named because of the period the book was written in. And they go to stay with their father's sister in California. They have a very fun boat journey in the beginning, which is one of my favourite things in any book ever. There's a lot of descriptions of ice cream. And basically all the children have different talents. So the eldest daughter is a ballerina. She goes to the same ballet school that the kids in Ballet Shoes went to. She's trained by the same teachers there, and she's also very promising. And then the son, who's the youngest, Tim, he's a pianist. Again, very talented, big expectations of him. The middle girl, Jane, no talent. She likes her dog a lot, and she's really mad because she can't take her dog with her to America. And basically it's her story. Something happens when she gets to America that's a big opportunity for her. And then Pauline and Posy Fossil are in it for a bit as well. It's a really fun story. It's a lot about like finding your place as a child, and just how prodigies aren't always the most important, you know. It's lovely. It's beautifully written. It's got a lot of middle child angst in it. So if you were a child who had middle child angst at all, you'll probably relate a lot to Jane. She's brilliant. And I honestly prefer this to Ballet Shoes. I love Ballet Shoes. I love all Nell Streatfeild's books, but this is my favourite. So Painted Garden, fantastic. It's my go-to. Now I'm jumping onto one that hasn't come out yet. It's due out in June, I believe. It's amazing. I've got a couple of like travel type memoir things on this pile. But this is my most recent read, and it is Gears for Queers by Abigail, Melton and Lilith Cooper. And it is their story of how they cycled across Europe, basically. They did just that. And it's a diary of kind of what happened to them along the way. They stayed in some campsites, in some hostels. They stayed in some random strangers' houses because they're brave. They got lost. They didn't speak the language fairly regularly. It's just really engagingly written. It's really warm and it's really inspiring. And the sense of location throughout it will just transport you along with their journey. So you can pre-order this now. It's published by Sandstone Press. This is one of the indie ones on my pile. I was gifted this copy because we do work with the people at Sandstone for the Ninja Book Box and other things that we do. So yeah, I was gifted this, but you should definitely pre-order it. This is endorsed purely by me. It's amazing and you will not regret it. Okay, and then so next on my list, I've just put these in a random order and they're very strange. So this is a really old book that I discovered in my library and then bought myself a copy of, and it is Garden Spells by Sarah Addison Allen. I would recommend every single thing Sarah Addison Allen has ever written for this current situation that we are in. It's perfect, but this one particularly is one of my favourites. It's about a woman who is kind of hiding from her past, and she bakes, and her baking's a little bit magic, and she has all kinds of effects on people around her, and then somebody new comes to town and all sorts of things happen, and I don't really want to give away any more than that, but they're really brilliant books. All of her books are kind of foodie, magic-y, escapist, like a little bit of romance, but not overpoweringly, and they're just gorgeous. So Sarah Addison Allen for the win. Next, another nature memoir-y type thing, not indie this time, but this is The Salt Path by Raynor Winn. She and her husband found themselves homeless from the house that they'd kind of raised their family in, and they just decided to walk. I'm trying to remember, it's the Southwest Coast Path. It's been a couple of months since I read this, but it's fantastic. Again, it's really like inspiring and kind of, you could do anything, or what you can do when it seems like there's nothing you can do. And it's, again, very evocative of the place that they're walking and all the people that they meet along the way and the scenery. So it will kind of transport you out of where you are now to somewhere you could possibly go after this madness is all over. That's The Salt Path. Again, that's not indie, but it's brilliant. My current companion in inspiration during our virtual bookshop crawl, and this must be about the 16th time I've read this book, I was showing my kids the pictures this morning and they love it, is The Bookshop Book by Jane Campbell. It is just a non-fiction book collection of little pieces about all sorts of different bookshops across the UK and across the world. So, and there's all sorts of pictures. So the one that my kids were obsessed with this morning is this one here at the bottom, which is Bookshop in Venice. So obviously it's like water outside, and they were just amazed by that. But it's full of brilliant bookshops, and bookshops are just the best. They're just the best. If you want to check out some more bookshops, you can head over and check out #virtualbookshopcrawl on Instagram, and you will see the bookshops that have taken part so far in our virtual bookshop crawl. But this is just full of gorgeous bookshops. What a bookshop. The Bookshop Book. Get it. Right, I'm like halfway through now. Another non-fiction on my pile next is actually indie. Gloria Steinem, My Life on the Road. Very inspiring. Gloria Steinem is has been a leading figure in the American kind of feminist movement. She's brilliant. I love her. She doesn't drive either. Yay! And she's achieved things in her life. It's possible. It's just very... She's done a lot. She's done a lot. She knows a lot of people. She talks about people in a very... inspiring way, I think. She's got a lot of ideas in this book. There's a lot of things that will make you think, but it's not stressful. It's just nice. It's fun to read. It's interesting. It's thought-provoking. It will make you think about like bigger things, but yeah, it's not stressful. I really enjoyed it. It's published by One World, so yay, indie. And yeah, that's Gloria Steinem, My Life on the Road. Okay, cracking on. Most of mine are... In fact, they're all children's books now. Brief mention to Harry Potter, of course. Harry Potter has got to be probably a lot of people's #1 escapist book. This is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Pretty new edition that was brought out for the anniversary. Harry Potter's awesome. He's a wizard. I think if you don't know about Harry Potter, you can probably go somewhere more verbose than this to find out about it. So next one is another children's book. I love this series so much. It is so calming. This is Comet and Moominland, but any of the Moomin books by Tove Jansson would help, I think, in this situation. Moomin and his friends are just going off and having adventures all the time. They don't care. They're just having like barbecues and parties and picking up people along the way, and they just make friends with anyone as well. It's brilliant. It's so wholesome and pure, and I adore Moomin, and I will love him forever. And I have some Moomin graphic novels, the adult versions upstairs as well, which are gorgeous. And we've also had the Moomin picture books. We've got the Moomin TV series. I love Moomin. Moomin, if you want something just to soothe your heart and your brain. Moomin forever. Okay. Down to the last two. Again, quick mention for Winnie the Pooh. Another just hugely heart and soul soothing book. Not just for kids. Lots of stuff in there for adults. Gorgeous. Our edition has this lovely little map in the front. Love a book with a map. And it's just so distracting. Just lose yourself in the 100 Acre Wood for a bit. And, you know, once this is all over, you can go visit it. It's not far from East Grinstead. Finally, I have picked an unconventional choice from a very popular series that is very well known. So I have picked Secret Water by Arthur Ransome, which is in the Swallows and Amazons series. I think it's about the 6th book in the Swallows and Amazons series. Don't quote me on that. I will correct myself. But Secret Water is amazing. It's the first one since Swallows and Amazons that actually feels like Swallows and Amazons to me. I like the other books, but they're all often their own thing. And Secret Water is just the kids from Swallows and Amazons get marooned on an island, and then there's like people that they think are savages, and they have to figure out what's going on. And then there's like a war. They have these fake wars with people. And there's lots of like, they have to walk through a causeway that's flooded at certain times of the tide, and will they be able to get back to their base camp? And it's just gorgeous and I loved it. And it's very refreshing to actually just take yourself off to like a desert island and be marooned for a while. And like, these kids are like, they must be teenagers by this point, although it's really hard to keep up track of how old they are. But they just like get on with it and deal with stuff, and they're not fast, and I love it. So yeah, the whole series, but Secret Water is particularly brilliant. So yes, that was my 10 books that I would recommend. It's a very odd collection of books. There were other books I could have chosen. I could have gone on forever and ever and ever, but I think, you know, 11 minutes is long enough. I'd love to hear your recommendations. Please do feel free to share your recommendations in the comments or over in our Ninja Book Group Facebook group. We've also got a thread there going, or just on Twitter, just tweet me. I'd love to hear them. I'm making a huge big list at ninjabookbox.com/bookshop-recommendations, which is all the books that Bookshops on the Virtual Bookshop Crawl have recommended to us. So that's a fantastic list, and also with links through to order directly from bookshops that are still taking orders, or to order from Blackwell's, which is an indie, and they're doing online ordering at the moment. It would really be helpful to a lot of bookshops if you are able to order your books from them at the moment, particularly, and help everybody get through this. So I hope that that was inspiring, that you found some things on there to bring some colour to your days. And I hope that you are all doing okay, and I will see you soon for another video. Bye.